What do you do when the very people you trust most become the ones who wound you the deepest? What do you do when your dreams feel too big for the world you were born into? This is the story of Joseph. But tonight it's also the story of Daniel, a boy with dreams, a boy betrayed, a boy who will learn that destiny is never stolen. It is shaped in the fire of faithfulness. Daniel was 17, a senior in high school. Honor roll. Dual enrolled at the community college, already working toward a cybersecurity degree. He had vision. He told his cousins about the company he wanted to start one day, an IT firm that would hire kids from the neighborhood, the ones everyone overlooked. They laughed. They rolled their eyes. One cousin muttered, "Man, you think you better than us now." But Daniel couldn't help it. His heart burned with dreams. He remembered Joseph's story. Genesis 37:5, King James says, "And Joseph dreamed a dream, and he told it his brethren, and they hated him yet the more." Dreams are dangerous. They expose who really stands with you and who only pretends. One Friday, Daniel walked home from school with two friends. At least, he thought they were friends. By evening, he was sitting in the principal's office, accused of something he hadn't done. His friends had cheated on a project, and somehow, his name was on the report too. He felt the ground give way under him, suspended, shamed. His mother's eyes filled with disappointment, even though she wanted to believe him. Genesis 37:24. Then they grabbed him and threw him into the cistern. Now the cistern was empty. There was no water in it. For Joseph, it was a pit in the desert. For Daniel, it was the silence of betrayal, the emptiness of realizing not everyone who smiles at you is rooting for you. Joseph was sold into slavery, ending up in Potiphar's house. He worked faithfully and found favor. Daniel, after suspension, got a part-time job at a small IT office downtown. He started simple data entry, fixing minor system errors. People noticed his skills. Slowly, trust grew. Genesis 39:2. And the Lord was with Joseph, and he was a prosperous man, and he was in the house of his master the Egyptian. But success brings temptation. Joseph faced Potiphar's wife. Daniel faced a DM. "Yo, you got the skills. One hack and we rich overnight." The message lingered. Quick money. No one would know. But he remembered Joseph's words in Genesis 39:9. "How could I do such a wicked thing? It would be a great sin against God." Integrity is tested, not in comfort, but in opportunity. For Joseph, temptation turned into accusation. Though innocent, Potiphar's wife lied, and Joseph was thrown into prison. For Daniel, it came as a sudden meeting with supervisors. Files were tampered with, they said. You had access. He pleaded his case, but suspicion was already planted. He wasn't fired, but trust shattered. Whispers spread in the office. His reputation cracked like glass. Genesis 39:20. And Joseph's master took him and put him into the prison, a place where the king's prisoners were bound, and he was there in the prison. Daniel went home, lying awake staring at the ceiling. God, why? He thought about quitting. He thought about disappearing. Sometimes prisons have no bars, just the weight of being misunderstood. Joseph interpreted dreams in prison, but even then, the cupbearer forgot him. Daniel found himself sidelined, his hours cut, opportunities gone. Yet, instead of drowning in self-pity, he started volunteering at the men's shelter, fixing old laptops, teaching kids the basics of coding. It wasn't glamorous, but it mattered. Genesis 40:23, New Living. Pharaoh's chief cupbearer, however, forgot all about Joseph, never giving him another thought. The world forgot Joseph. His supervisors overlooked Daniel. But heaven did not. Sometimes waiting isn't punishment, it's preparation. Joseph went from prisoner to second in command in Egypt when Pharaoh needed someone wise. Daniel's break came unexpectedly. A small cyber attack hit the city's network. While others missed the signs, Daniel traced the breach back to its source. His report got noticed fast. Soon, he was invited to join a cybersecurity task force, working with city officials. Genesis 41 to 39:40. There is none so discreet and wise as thou art. Thou shalt be over my house, and according unto thy word shall all my people be ruled. When the moment came, Joseph was ready. When the city called Daniel, he was prepared. Every silent night, every betrayal, every false word, it was training. Years later, Joseph's brothers came hungry, bowing before the very man they had betrayed. He wept but forgave. Daniel's cousins, the same ones who mocked his dreams, showed up one evening. Their laptop was locked by a virus, their jobs on the line. Daniel could have laughed, could have turned them away, but instead, he fixed it and offered advice to keep them safe in the future. Joseph's words echoed in his mind. Genesis 50 to 20.